best riff that I ever heard at Warped Tour was in 1997, Blink-182, Damn It.
I'm gonna go backcountry on that one.
Oh, that is nice. That's a ripper.
Some 41 have pretty good riffs, I must say. Yeah. Or Blink played Damn It too. That's a sick riff. That's the riff. Yeah.
No doubt. Spiderweb.
Best riff to ever be played at Warped Tour?
Oh, yes.
Yes, there's a hardcore band that just, they do pinch harmonics, and I swear they pull the strings to the ground and then bring it back up. Even if we heard those from a distance, we would sprint to the stage just to hear a little.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna change it. That CKY song.
Ah.
that
The whole
riff,
if
you're looking for a riff, that's the one.
whole damn between the audience and all the bands that whole summer were just down.
When you see thousands of people sing a guitar part, you know it's a good one.
The best fan interaction. I think for us, it's almost every day. Every single time we do Warped Tour, we go out and we do a signing, and there's hundreds and hundreds of people every day who show up. There's crazy lines. We got shut down many times because the line was too crazy. People got mad at us, but every single time we got there and we took the time to hang with them and take photos. And
I've got one. I think I did it on Warped Tour. I'm not sure, but I tattooed someone on Warped Tour.
oh yeah,
Yes.
There's a fan of ours who is a tattoo artist, and she wanted us to tattoo our names on her, so she came with her tattoo gun, and I tattooed my name on her. It looks awful. It's
But she
really
loves
hard.
it.
Yeah, no, she loves it. But it's so hard to tattoo. Like it's much harder than I thought it was. So.
newfound respect for
Yes,
tattoo artists.
exactly.
For
When
me.
I see it just one perfect line, I'm like, wow, you're really good.
Every morning at the gates when I got to talk to him.
Yeah, I think for us it would be anytime a fan came up to our booth and told us how much they read the magazine, how many of the posters were on their walls, or that maybe it was a father that came by or a mother with their kids and they said they grew up reading AP back in the 90s. So that's usually the best fan interaction.
My favorite fan interaction was when the fan of Emery was Dexter Holland from The Offspring. He was sitting side stage with a friend of his that I probably dragged him, but he was pretending to be in the music, or maybe he was, but he sat backstage with her and was just really jamming, and then they came and sat on our bus for like 2 hours because she was a big fan of our band.
Right.
So that's
our
Holland's my
favorite fan interaction.
Emery fan, yeah.
You might throw in a shirt out. You threw out something soaked in sweat once, and the fan took it and just downed the sweat. I think my
Coley, the best one, not the worst one.
That's probably my favorite to see. That's insane.
I think there have been,
Might have been a good shot.
a bunch of. Anytime a fan comes up with like a new, freshly tattooed lyric that we've written, has always been really awesome.
Denver, Colorado, I think it was 2017. Silverstein's playing on a stage. We are doing a signing at our tent, and a guy walks up to us and says, "Is that you guys playing over there?" That guy takes the cake.
Last summer we did, and I think it was in Nashville. We had a day off, and my wife and kids came to visit me on a Warped Tour, and I went to a lake, and we rented a guy with a boat, and it was pretty.
Rented a guy with a boat.
Well, we rented a boat, but with a guy. We rented a guy with a boat.
The guy came to the boat, with the boat came with the guy.
Yeah, we went to a little beach and did some kayaking, and it was awesome. So
Sounds pretty epic.
One time at Lake Shasta, our lighting guy tried to fight a bear. He just heard some tip that you're supposed to like
Be bigger than
pose for a bear. But I think that's I don't think that's bear
rummaging
tips.
through the trash can, and he went up. He was a little intoxicated.
I think he went out of his way to challenge the bear. Like he could have just walked by and he was like, "Hey,
The bus store was here. And he was
totally
like,
inappropriate."
There's a bear.
Yeah. Bear wrestling in Lake Shasta.
And in 2003, randomly in Chicago, I went to see a movie with Tim Armstrong, and it's not like we were that close, but he called me up. He's like, "You want to come see a movie with me?" And I went to see a movie with Tim Armstrong.
I did not even know
and
that.
it was kind of like the most surreal thing as a kid growing up loving Rancid. It was sort of like, what is happening? So sorry, I had to put that in. I don't remember the movie. I don't think I paid attention. I was just trying to be cool, you know? Like, don't say anything, don't mess it up.
Best year of Warped Tour for me, hands down, 2008.
Early blow up stage.
Yeah.
Our first year. Yeah.
We weren't on the main stage, but it was incredible. It was like our first time on a bus. It was a wild time.
It was it was the Hurley stage at the time. It was the black, blimp stage, and it was a time that Checkers Juliet had really kind of like sprung, and I just remember Yeah, I just remember like the crowds being too big for the stage, and it was
Humble pie. Have a
it was
slice.
We the Kings, We the Kings
Next
all-
question.
We the Kings all time low, Manic Parade, I think Superstar. It was like an amazing.
Oh, we were so big. We had to play that tiny spin.
But when we played it the first time, the
Yeah,
2002,
2003?
it was
2003,
2003.
I think.
Yeah, Yellow
Yeah.
Card,
AFI,
AFI,
Rancid.
Thrice was on it.
Thrice.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that was a
That's a
great
good year.
good
2003.
year.
Trying to think of which one. I think it was 2000 or 99 when Blink was on it, and we came and that's when we played them at Do Anything
Yeah.
for the first time.
Wasn't Body Count on it too?
No, Eminem, I think.
Oh man, that's right.
And it was incredible because we saw the show and we got to hang out, and it led to eventually three years later to Mark Hoppus singing on Not Do Anything on our first record, which again changed our lives. So that came from the Warped Tour as
Yep.
well.
I would always say the next year, but now I can start looking back. So I'd go all the way back to 1995, that first year when we didn't know what we were doing and we're just out making it happen.
05. Has to be. Sorry, boys. Sorry, boys, but 05 was the sheer magnitude of it, even though we had no idea what the hell we were doing. Like,
We were playing to tens of thousands of. It felt. I mean, it might have been. I don't know how many
I
people.
don't know.
But we
Like
looked
the big shows were probably 40,000 or something.
We
like
were
that,
we
right?
were running
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah. And by the way,
We were rocking basketball shorts. We didn't know what we were doing. It
and
was
by
just
the way,
ridiculous.
just a year and a half before that, we were like touring, you know, the grog shop at best. You know what I mean? So like we went from that to that. We just thought that's how it worked. You know, like we'll just do that, and it'll be cool. That's not how it worked. That was, you flash forward 15 years later, you realize the magic of what that was.
05.
Yeah, 05 was unbelievable. That was the year that My Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy, All American Rejects, Thrice. It was like Avenged Sevenfold, and it was our first like full summer, part of Warped Tour, and we were just blown away by the amazing music on the whole thing. It was just like, this is unbelievable. So that was cool.
I mean, I bet that terminal show we played at in Alabama,
Non-paid. Nine people paid.
where we watched each other's bands.
Yeah.
I bet that was less than a year before.
Yeah, it was
that.
in 2004 at some point before our record was out, and 9 people paid. And then you flash forward, and there's 40,000 people there, and we're supposed to know what the hell we're doing. But yeah, just magical moments. That was just
pretty good growth.
And all the bands that were there were all the bands that we loved, were listening to. You know, like you had Fall Out Boy, All American Rejects, My Chem, Atreyu, just everybody. I think Under Oath had to be on the second stage that year because of how many crazy big bands there were. It was insane.
Warped artist most well liked by parents. Well, based on our interview with Mr. Lyman there just recently, I would say it's We the Kings.
Number 2, right?
Oh, we were number 2.
Yeah, we're number 2.
We were in the number
running.
1.
I'll take this.
No, Andy Black, I think it was.
Yeah. We'll take the silver on that.
Okay. We the Kings would be the
Man,
answer.
that's a humbling experience when you can't even take first place in the parents' most favorite.
Andy Black, maybe?
I don't know, maybe.
He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
always seems very nice and takes care of himself. But
Andy Black, they loved him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Andy Black.
They crushed on him
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
My wife included.
Yeah. That's the one the daughters and mothers actually fought over.
Simple plan.
Probably.
Yeah, we're parent friendly.
Yeah, I would say.
The Ramones. I tried so hard. Joe Strummer was supposed to play the Warped Tour the year he died.
That's right.
So the Ramones, I said they could have a stage, all Ramones all the time, all their little bands, all the sub bands, and I wanted them to do one 30-minute Ramone reunion, and never happened.
The Clash, the Ramones. I mean, that would have been sort of like being able to bridge the gap between the two,
Sex Pistols.
like the two era, the two. Yeah.
Nirvana, that'd have been great.
Oh, that would have been.
Oh yeah. Rage Against the Machine. Did they ever play Rage Against the Machine? Oh man, that would have been sick.
Foo Fighters, yeah. The Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters killer.
Christopher Walken.
Maybe 21. Yeah, but again, at the same time, all these bands kind of made their year, and so it kind of made every single Warped Tour stand out. So I don't know if it really is. You kind of sit there and say who didn't play. Like you're missing something from that. Each year was great on its own and held its own. It was a good time capsule.
In the last 10 years, it would have been 21 Pilots. They were supposed to play Warped Tour, but their agent talked them out of it.
Agents. Most notorious or best supporter of Warped Tour? Yeah, who would be like probably the biggest supporter of Warped Tour out of all the bands over the years?
Les and Jake.
Les and Jake.
Les and Jake. Les and Jake would be inducted into. Every Time I Die would be put in.
Yep.
I mean, that'd be the first class. You put 5 in. I noticed they usually put 5 people in. So I guess those would be my first 5, and then we would go from there.
Would you put anybody from the first year in it?
The first year, it would have been Sublime if Brad hadn't passed away, because I'm sure they would have still been playing every year. I always thought that Sublime would have. That was their tour. They just got to be like the little rascal pirates out there and do whatever they wanted, and I'd have to kick them with a boot, and they'd behave for a minute, and then you'd kick them with another boot. And I literally, when I say boot, I did kick them with a boot.
Yeah, Blink, probably Sublime. So many great bands.
Bad Religion. I would say Bad Religion or No Effects.
Pennywise. Yeah.
Blink hasn't played that many of them, but I feel like they do have a song with the when the summer and the Warped Tour.
Oh, yeah.
So
There's so many great bands that played it.
What band represents Warped Tour the most?
Fall Out Boy probably played it quite often.
Not
No?
that many, no.
No?
My Chemical Romance.
Maybe like Pennywise or like Pennywise.
Pennywise, that's a
Yeah,
good one.
like an older like No Effects or Pennywise or something like that, or
Less Than Jake, because they're the only bands that played it more than us. They played 13 times, I think, and we played 12 or something. So I would say those guys deserve it.
Yeah, they deserve it. Less Than Jake.
Yeah, you probably got to put Les and Jake on there because they played it 300. They played it 20 more times than Warped Tours actually happened.
We the Kings. How do we not say that? How do we not say that? We the Kings.
Probably like Pennywise, Blink, all those like original. Whoever did it in those camping vans back in the first row.
Yeah. Now that
Less Than Jake.
Now that
say
Kevin
Less
and
Than
Warped
Jake.
Tour
Ford
are
Boys.
inducted,
Welcome to Florida.
Linkin Park did. I think they would be.
Yeah, I hate all those answers. We the Kings stands. We the Kings.
From the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much to Kevin Lyman and Vans Warped Tour. You guys have been amazing. Come over there and say hello. We love you guys. Thank you. We're Hawthorne Heights.
Best hair. Who do you think?
I don't know anybody that's known for their hair other than the people that have been in this band.
On Black Veil Brides, they look like they spent a little money on their hair.
Black Veil Brides?
Probably. No, I had to
No?
think about that. Yeah, I'm going to say Katy Perry.